Is it all cons of our real estate license being so time consuming and expensive? Let's find out. Hey, what's up guys? Callum Moore here, and on this channel I share information that we need to achieve real estate success. Information is key, but it's not easy to get. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. At any point during the video, check out the description below. I list links to what we discuss, all my recommendations, and how to contact me down there. Let's get into the video. I wanted to do this video because I've received messages from people that watch the channel telling me how cheap it is to get your license in other parts of the world. They're usually joking messages, but there's something to be said about the value of education and what impact it has. One message read they couldn't believe the cost of getting your real estate license here in Ontario in comparison to a place like California. I was surprised myself when I looked as well, just knowing that California is an expensive place to live, just basing on state income tax alone. So I searched a little and found you can get your real estate license in California for as low as $550. In comparison to ours at $3,715, this is quite the difference. Just a quick note, this is just the education, not counting initiation fees, more education, anything like that. But could the price and time-consuming education be a pro? Let's compare. So first I'll do the education pros and cons, then I'll do the cost, and finally what this all means for us who either have their license or getting their license. Plus, of course, my opinion. Whether at the end of the day, this is either a pro or a con. Education. So, education. If you go back to the difference in price, the majority is made up because the education here in Ontario is regulated. And once that happens, you essentially have a monopoly. In California, it's as low as $550 or as high as $1,050, depending on what education you choose. And of course, once there's competition in a market, the prices and quality will vary. So that's more or less why there is such a big difference, but let's just start with the education value face up. So I was watching a day in the life real estate video on YouTube recently. His name is Aram, great guy, absolutely love his personality, seems like such a chill dude, and what I respect about him the most is how honest he is. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. So in the video, he was explaining one of his first open houses as a brand new agent. And a gentleman and his wife attending the open house asked about the septic tank. He had no idea what a septic tank was, as he describes in his video. But he was able to tell the truth, do a little research, and find the answer. Well, if you've been through our course here in Ontario, we cover everything to do with anything. It's so long that they cover the same topics twice or three times because they've ran out of content to talk about. Clearly, as just a face-up concept, if our program is 6 courses and 6 exams long versus 1 course and 1 exam, we're going to learn more from the former before we enter the field. But if we go on just that one situation from Aram, how he didn't know about a septic tank, and me and you can describe how to install them. Kidding. It's a pro for higher education before entering the field, of course, but it's a con because he gets his real estate license in a month. So what do I think? Pro, higher, longer education, or con, shorter, straight to the point? I think it is a con. I'll take that 1 month all day, and then hit the ground running in the field to get my education. I can YouTube everything, I can ask a million questions. That time they took from me is a con. On to cost. So as I mentioned before, it's $3,715 here in Ontario versus $550 to about $1,000 in California. A quick mention of other areas, New York is around $900 to $1,100. All the way over in Australia is about $900 to $1,500, and the United Kingdom is $0. Wait, $0? I can't be right. Ukraine, $0 as well. I think we might take the cake over here in Ontario. So if you're like me, you probably started off by doing a bit of research to find out the cost to get your real estate license in Ontario, and you were probably a little surprised. I'm not too sure where I got this thought from, but I've pictured it being like $1,500, maybe even less. So when I started to put all the numbers together of the costs, I started a little pro and con list in my head already. So the con straight out of the gates is we're out more money to start. Obvious. But the first pro would be, and I truly do believe this, there's a saying that people that pay attention. I read a story once, I think it was from Russell Brunson in one of his books, the ClickFunnels guy, and he goes on to say that he ran a $25,000 a week masterclass type thing. And when he first started it, he wanted the class to be full, so he let his friends and family attend. He said that everyone in the class used the information and went on to create wealth or add to their business, except his friends and family that were attending the same class, getting the same information, yet they did nothing with it. Of course, there's a variable that the people attending that class were entrepreneurs and his friends and family weren't. But it's definitely a thing for me. If I'm investing my hard-earned money into myself, I'm getting results. And the second pro would be the area's real estate success rate. This profession will carry with it a ton of highs and lows, obviously. You could have 3 of your friends refer you or need to move within the first 2 months of getting your real estate license and be on top of the world. But most likely it will be a grind to start this, and like most businesses, it will start slow. A slow start followed by the first sign of adversity is more likely to discourage a person that, say, spent $1,000 and they're just like, well, this isn't for me, than a person who is highly invested in themselves with only one option: success. So I think you might know where I'm leaning on the cost topic of being a pro or a con. I'm gonna have to say it's a pro. So the interesting part about what these create: longer invested time for higher, tougher education and a very high startup cost, is they create a higher barrier to entry. Is a higher barrier to entry a pro or con? With a higher price tag and more hours to become a real estate agent, the barrier to entry will of course in turn increase. I will have completed the entire course in 4.5 months, being extremely diligent with reduced hours due to COVID. The average time for completion is much longer, and of course there are people that don't complete altogether. People do and will be discouraged just by the sheer size of the program. Throw on top of that people trying to complete all of the courses while they have a full-time job or children could be significantly more difficult. People will compare whether the time, money, and energy put in to get their license that doesn't guarantee us anything once we have it is worth it. The prices I mentioned before don't even cover any of your OREA, Korea, local board fees, any of your monthly or annual fees. So with a higher barrier to entry, who is this a pro for? Well, obviously it's a pro for an established agent. No brainer there. Less competition entering the market, good news for them. But can this be a pro for us, new agents entering the market? Well, straight off the bat, in my opinion, it is a pro for people who never quit. If they never quit, just means that the harder it is, the less people do it, and the people that never quit thrive. Another possible pro is if you do believe in the education system on a whole. If better education is in place, the real estate profession will demand a higher standard and gain more respect. If bad habit established agents leave the industry or retire, they are replaced with higher educated professionals. Hopefully in the not too distant future, when we're all entering the market, bringing with us our higher standards, if you type into Google real estate agents are, we can change some of those results. I really hope that helped, and if you're in real estate like myself to help future clients like no one else, reach out and comment below. And if you get a chance, check out this video right here where I break down the monthly expenses to be a real estate agent here in Ontario. We'll see you there.